Hello. So today I'm going to talk about a very important topic that has been disturbing me for the longest time. This is about women and how the men in our world are failing to take care of the woman. It's one thing to not bother woman and let her thrive. It's another to get into her life and bring it down. Our world today, the majority of societies that are there are patriarchal in nature. These societies favor men over women in every aspect of life, be it social, be it in an institution, be it in a household, be it in a professional setting. A man is looked at a more reliable source of information than a woman. For example, if you're in a professional setting, if you're giving an advice to a client, a man's advice is seen as more reliable over a woman's advice. A woman is questioned more, laughed at, and not taken seriously at a workplace. In most scenarios, there'll be very limited scenarios where she'll be taken seriously if she's in a very good position. In the household, the majority of the decisions, the main decisions, are taken by the man, and the woman just have to comply. If he is being relocated, it does not matter where the woman is in her life, whether she's comfortable with the new location, she still has to comply. She still has to follow her husband or the partner. In majority of the cases, does not have the say in the decisions that are being made in a household that she's very much a part of. Same thing goes at institutions. The majority of leaders in our institutions today are men. Let's now look at how having this inequality in each of these aspects are actually affecting the world at large. If these patriarchal societies were working for the betterment of the world, we would have achieved the world peace by now. Leave world peace, people have not even achieved inner peace, which is the basis of attaining world peace. Well, that's a topic for another day. Let's look at what are we actually missing out in the world today. We are missing out on empathy, we are missing out on sensitivity, creativity, gentleness, vulnerability, kindness, collaboration, compassion, emotional intelligence, sweetness, nurturing aspects, etc. etc. I just read out the qualities of the feminine, the woman. This is what is missing at large from our societies. A man can for sure create four walls and call it a house, but it's the woman who brings in the nurturing environment. It's her who places the furniture a certain way. It's her who keeps it clean. It's her who brings out her creativity. It's her who nurtures the environment. It's her who's holding the family together. This is what the feminine will bring to the world, and feminine does not mean just woman. I'm just using it as an example. But this is the aspect of a woman. And if you bring this at large in the world, in any space, it'll only nurture the environment and bring out balance that is so missing in today's world. Now let's look at in what conditions a feminine thrive, a woman thrives. The first point I read was connecting with nature. We all know what happens to women who go alone on a hike. We all know what happens to a woman who go camping alone. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You're not letting the feminine thrive. The second point I read was practicing self care. If a woman indulges in self care, you call it a waste of time, a waste of money. If she indulges in makeup, if she indulges in, say, having a beautiful routine, just maybe her hair requires a certain routine, and you see it as a waste of time. But it's a very, very important aspect of a woman to enjoy beautifying herself, to enjoy that self care. And I'm not saying this in a sense in a very external sense. I'm saying this in a very intuitive sense. As in, when you allow these things to happen, a woman naturally blooms from within, not from outside. I'm not talking about makeup. I'm talking about when you let a woman be, when you let her flow, when you let her beautify, when you let her nurture herself, she is capable of nurturing her environment. That's how the inner beauty flows outside. She should also be able to be soft and vulnerable. Now, a woman wants to be soft. A woman wants to be nice and sweet. But look at how she's treated at environments, at home environments, at professional environments. You want her to be soft and sweet, but you don't give her the time to rest, to rejuvenate, to do anything that she likes, anything that makes her an individual by herself. She is occupied with work, either housework or office work. If she doesn't work, she's still occupied with majority of the housework because you don't help her. You don't think it's your job to help her. So she's in constant state of working, working, working. And when you do that, a woman gets into her masculine side. A masculine side is accomplishing tasks with full force. That's the masculine aspect. If you let a woman be masculine for the majority of her time during a day, what do you think will happen? Would she be soft and nurturing for you? Angry that you're there just to eat and sleep because you're putting her in her masculine. You're not letting her rest. You're not helping her with anything. She's the one who's organizing the home. She's the one who's tidying up the home, cleaning up the home, cooking the dishes, cleaning the dishes, doing everything for you to come and sleep, eat and sleep. A woman will not thrive in an environment like this. You have to be an equal partner in helping her with the tasks that she's doing throughout the day. Not only is today's men not doing that, they are also not helping with putting the things back from the places, from the original places. They just take things out, throw it around, and go about their business. Go out with their friends and play. While the woman is just putting everything back from where it was taken. Do you see the problem? You're not being an adult. To be an equal partner is to be an adult, to learn all the skills she has. Not only are you supposed to help her with those things, you're also supposed to keep things at their original places. You're also supposed to keep the things as they were, to leave the places as tidy and neat and clean as you saw it. If you continuously ruin the things that she's organizing for you, cleaning for you, she'll be constantly pissed. She'll constantly be in her masculine. She'll constantly be angry. And then you wonder, why is the woman always angry? Why is she crazy? Why can't she be nice and nurturing like the neighbor's woman? You know, this is how a man thinks. That's the problem. You're not letting her be in her soft era. You're not letting her be in her nurturing era. You are the problem and you don't even see it. Then you look at your neighbor's wife, your friend's wife. She's so kind, she's so nurturing. She's being nice in front of you. Okay, it's the same story in every household. And it's the same problem every woman is facing. The majority of the downfall of a woman, downfall of her mental peace, happens after marriage or after being in a partnership with a man. I don't know why I did that. This means you're just acting like the man, or just you're just born as a man, but you're not doing anything that a man should be doing. Let me now share the examples of three women that I came across recently. And these women are so deeply ingrained in these problems that they don't even want to find the solution anymore. They're married with kids, they don't want to cause more ruckus. So, in order to maintain the peace, they are just staying in toxic environments with men who are not menning, who are not doing their part. And this is affecting them so much that I've seen this woman stressed. The first woman, when she got married, her in laws asked her to be in a certain dress, certain traditional dress. This is called a ghagra. She is a Rajasthani woman. This lady was expected to wear ghagra at all times while she was with her in laws. And at the time, she was living with her husband and her in laws. She was not expected to sit on bed with her in laws while they were around. She was supposed to sit on the floor. This lady comes from an educated background. Most of her family is educated and has studied abroad. And she's being treated like this in her in law's family, like a maid, like a second class citizen, just because she's married now. She has never been treated like this in her entire life, but she has to accept these norms now that she's married, and now she has to be obedient to her in laws. This lady was courageous enough to get out of that environment, to tell the in laws straight away that this is not the right thing to do. And she fought. The mentality was not matching. The in laws were not ready to agree to her demands. So they left, they separated. The lady is now living with her husband with a child. The husband does not allow her to work. She recently asked for his permission to work, and the man asked her to focus on the child and that he can take care of the work. And this was not in a friendly tone, this was in an ordering tone. This man ordered her, asked her, did not give her permission to work. Do you see the problem? Do you see the problem? Who are you to give us permission to work or not work? We are kind enough to give birth to your children and then even take care of them. And then you, as a man, are not taking care of the children equally. Plus, you do not want the woman in her life to live her life, to do what she wants to do. She has to sacrifice her job, her own individuality, her interest to cater to your needs and your family. You are killing her from within. Sorry to use that word. But that's how a woman is slowly depletes. That's how her state goes down. And once the mental state goes down, it eventually affects the body. Once it affects the body, it affects her health. Once it affects the health, it affects your pocket. Okay? So it will eventually affect the pocket that you're so trying so hard to earn. Example number 2. I met this woman while I was traveling back to the US from India. This woman was given permission by her husband to travel only for 1 week. Mind you, this is India. This is a minimum of 15 hours away of flight. Once you travel from a country like US to the other side of the world like India, the body is in constant jet lag, as in it does not understand the difference between day and night, and it takes at least a week to adjust to the new environment. Before she could adjust to the new environment, she had to take a flight back to the US. And the husband actually said that you will only be allowed 1 week because I cannot take care of the kids. It's your responsibility. Okay. So you did not participate in creating this child. It's clearly my burden, and I am now constrained for a lifetime to take care of this child, and you cannot do anything from your end to take care of the child. And I have to sacrifice on my health, on my time, on everything that I am to take care of the child and you, since you cannot be an adult. Okay? This is scenario number 2. This woman is educated, like very educated, and she is well traveled, and yet she's having to deal with a man who cannot take care of his own children. This lady has to sacrifice her own travel time, her own visiting time to her own country to meet her own parents so that she can take care of this man child and his children. Example number 3. I met this lady while I was on my trip to India. This lady is not from a very educated background. She's from a rural background. She has her basic education met. Her husband lives off far away because of his job, which is okay. This lady lives with her in-laws. Now this lady has two children, or three, two actually. She has to take care of the children full time. She has to take care of her in-laws full time, from cooking to cleaning to tidying up the home to getting the kids ready to taking care of the kids if they're sick to doing everything. And these in-laws cannot help even this bit. These in-laws are not willing to lift their finger to help this woman. This lady has lost considerable amount of weight from the time of her wedding to what she's now, to the point where she looks malnourished. Now, why can't their in-laws keep a maid if there's so much work? It's fairly easy to get a maid in India, very easy in fact. And the fact that the in-laws are neither helping, not are calling the maid, not are hiring a maid, says that they think the lady is the maid, that she's supposed to do all that work for them, as if she's not a human, as if her health won't be affected. This is the problem that India is facing. The world is facing actually. I'm very sure the women around the world are having to deal with this exact situation where the in-laws are not helping. In-laws in India are specifically the problem. They think their man child is not supposed to work. It's the woman in their life who's going to beautify everything, who's going to organize everything, clean everything, cook everything, take care of everything, while the man enjoys, takes a backseat and enjoys their work, their friends, their life. And this girl has to sacrifice all her life, everything that she was before marriage, just so she can take care of the family full time. Who is she now after wedding, after the marriage? Who is she now? A maid? A helper? Is she not a human being? Why can't you keep a maid? What's the problem? The problem with such dysfunctional families is that it will eventually affect the woman so much that she'll not be able to take care of the family that she's doing now. She'll eventually be either pissed, very angry, she'll not be who she was at the time of marriage. And it will be you, your entire family, who's going to face the consequences. I would request you all, especially the men, please understand your own responsibilities, your own role in a marriage, and be an equal participant in a marriage. If you're not capable of doing so, and I would use the word capable because an adult should be able and capable of taking care of their family, taking care of themselves and their children. If you're producing a child with a woman, you're very much expected to help her. It's not her sole responsibility. If you're not capable of doing that, step away from marriage, stay single. Do not ruin a woman's life. A woman thrives alone. A man doesn't. He does require the support of a woman. Understand this aspect and respect all women in your life. Embrace their presence. They're choosing to live with you and your nonsense. Respect them. Love them for who they are. If you are not capable of it, step out of the marriage, the partnership, the relationship, whatever it is. Stay away from them. Let them be. Why don't you leave them alone? Just let them be. A woman can thrive alone. A man cannot. And life will prove it to you. If you think you can thrive alone, go live alone. I want you to live alone. I want you to be on your own and not dependent on anyone for once. Do it because a woman can. She can take care of you, take care of herself, your family, your children, your pets. But I don't know if you can do the same. There is a minority of men on this planet today that are doing everything they can to sustain a marriage, to keep a woman happy, to keep their family happy. And these families thrive. The woman is happy, the child is healthy, the entire family thrives. Understand the dynamic, understand your role, and be an equal participant. Okay, let's hope somebody learned something from this video. I'll end this now, and I'll come up with more examples and people from my life that I've seen personally being affected and create more such videos because I think it's high time to create awareness around these issues. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.